Good morning, this is Kate Kaltoff. You are at Stamping to Share. This is my Facebook group. Actually not a group, it's my Facebook page. I have a Facebook group. It's called Happy Stampers Stamping to Share. And every Wednesday I jump into my Happy Stampers Stamping to Share. And we do mailbox shares. So I just want to thank everyone for sending me cards. It's so amazing and I love sharing them with you. Yesterday I shared a whole bunch of cards, including some Hey Birthday Chick cards, which were just super cute. So it was really fun. Yeah, and some swaps. I also share some swaps there. So, but here in this page, Stamping to Share, we do cards. So I will make a card for you today. I'm going to use this cute little thing. I don't know if I've ever demoed this live. So, I mean, I use it all the time because I can just set it on my desk and use it with smaller dies like the ones we're going to use today, which are great. These are the Tasteful Label dies. Oh, and S'more wants to say hi. He's hearing me talking and he's not liking it. Anyway, here's my kitty. He's really annoying today. He doesn't know if he wants to be in or out. So I'm going to take him out and then I'll be back. Don't worry, he's got a fur coat on. He'll be just fine outside for 20 minutes or so. Oh, goodness. It's great to have you all here. Thank you so much. You might wonder why we call him S'more. It's because he has a little stripe of white down his back, and then the other sides of him are kind of, cocoa colored. So he sort of looks like, a s'more, like when the marshmallows sort of popping out of the sides of your graham cracker. So that's why we call him S'more. All right, so this is the card we're going to make today. Isn't it just so pretty? So it uses the fabulous Designer Series paper that you can get free with a $50 purchase from Stampin' Up! Just through January and February. And it is called, the paper is called Flower and Field. I always want to call it Field and Flower, but it's the opposite. It's Flower and Field. So we're going to make a card that really features that. We're also going to make the sentiments. We're going to use the sentiments from Happy Thoughts, which is a stamp set that you'll find in our January through June mini catalog. Oh, great. It's so good to have so many of you joining me. Thank you. Yes, beautiful Designer Series paper, beautiful card, and elegant and simple, which, as you know, I love combining those two things, simple, elegant. I like easy, and so that's what we focus on. We are going to make some easy cards. So let me flip the camera down and we'll get started. I'll show you everything on my desk and what we're using today. All right, so let's get started. First of all, I want to let you know that in a couple days, well, probably Monday, you will be able to get the free PDF for making this card. I always share a free PDF with you on the cards that we make on Facebook Live. And so where do you go to get the free PDF? It's easy. Just go to my blog, www.stampingtoshare.com. And I started doing free PDFs, I would say it was probably late last summer or early fall, and it has been so popular. So that's where you go if you want to get the details on how to make these cards, all the measurements, etc. And these are the cards we're making today, and you can see by the design of the Designer Series papers kind of going to dictate where you place your sentiment panel on the front of your card. You can either place it towards the top or towards the bottom. Either way is going to look great. And let's move on and show you some other things here. We've got the Tasteful Labels dies. This is great for things like this. When you have a stamp set from Stampin' Up! That's just sentiments, sometimes when you're designing cards, just, stamping straight out on the card is great. However, it's a lot of fun to stamp and then cut out and then stamp, however you like to do it. And then have panels that you can just figure out where that sentiment looks the best. And so this is a great, great set for sentiments. Or it also works great for various images that Stampin' Up! Might have. And they're narrow enough that they actually work really well in our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So we'll be using that today with, and I should just grab the die, with this particular die right here, which is one of my favorites. I use this one a lot. In fact, I hardly ever use the other dies because I just like this one so much. All right, so we're going to set that there to remember to use it. Of course, the Happy Thoughts stamp set. We already talked a little bit about that. We'll be using some matte black dots. Now, this was actually my customer gift in January for anyone that placed a $75 order to a $150 order using a host code. Now this month, if you place a $75 to $150 order using a host code, you are going to get the in color enamel dots as your gift. And I always send those out after I close those host codes so that I can get all of those goodies for you for using the host code. So thank you very much. We had so many host code users last month. It was fantastic. If you don't understand how to use a host code, please reach out to me. I will walk you through it step by step. It only takes 1 or 2 times of figuring out how to do it, and then you're good to go. Here is the Flower and Field Designer Series paper. Again, this is free with a $50 purchase during celebration, which is going to be ending soon. In fact, it's going to end on February 28th, so we don't have many more days to enjoy that promotion. What colors am I using today? Really pretty colors. We've got basic black, basic white, and flirty flamingo. So that's the cardstock colors that we're using in our card today. And let's go ahead and get started. We're just going to start by cutting out some labels. So here's the mini embossing machine from Stampin' Up. It's called the Mini Stampin' Cut Embossing Machine because it does do stamping and cutting. When you get it, and by the way, if you get it, it's a $60 purchase. You'll automatically be able to pick a $50 spend. So you could go ahead and get this Flower and Field Designer Series paper. But when you get it, it comes with all of these little platforms that you use when you run it through, and you have a couple of cutting plates. That's what you tend to use the most, and then of course your base plate. So those are numbered 1 and 2. Those are probably the things you're going to use the most if you're cutting. If you like to use embossing folders, it also comes with a couple of embossing folders, kind of like shims. So this thicker one is for our standard embossing folders, and Stampin' Up! Actually makes real small embossing folders that fit through here perfectly. And then the 3D embossing folders would use number 4. But trust me, there's instructions. There's literally instructions right on the plate. So even if you lose the instructions, you still actually have the instructions. So that's, thank goodness, because I don't know about you, but I lose instructions a lot. So what we're going to need today is a scrap of Flirty Flamingo, because that's what our banner is going to be cut out of, or our little sentiment panel. And when I use embossing folder plates, or not embossing folder, but cutting plates, I like to keep one for cutting and one just running through over the top. So we have our platform, just like any cutting machine. So that goes down first. Then you're going to put your plate down. Then you put your paper down, and then you put your die down, and then you put your next plate down over the top. And you just set that in, and you start rolling. Then grab the top, and as you roll through, you get a great little cutout, just like that. So this is so tiny, I can literally put it in my purse when I'm going out of town for the weekend, and my husband doesn't even know. So I can bring more tools with me without him having a clue. All right, so then we've got this, and again, we're just putting this right here, adding our top plate, and then we're gonna run it through, let it catch there, and bring it through, and there we go, it's done. So here we go with our second little cutout, because I'm making 2 cards, everybody. That's really fun, because one card, or both cards, I'll give away on Tuesday. So how do you get in the drawing for the giveaway? Which will also include, by the way, a half pack of our matte black dots. To get into the drawing, just share this on your timeline. Let me know that you've shared, or just make a comment. Let me know that you're watching or where you're watching from. That's always fun. I love seeing where everybody's from. All right, so we have our two little cutouts from our Tasteful Labels dies. Then I'm going to use some StazOn black ink, which I've got right here. We're going to open this up. I've got my happy birthday. And we are going to stamp this right over the top. There's one. And here is the other. Perfect. I'm going to set this aside, and we are going to just keep on stamping. I set the wrong one aside. I'm going to set the birthday one aside, and now we're going to stamp the inside sentiment. So let me grab those panels. So those are 4 by 5 1/4. They're basic white, and our inside sentiment is going to go right here. So just right up here at the top, about 1/3 of the way down. Just wanted to send some happy thoughts your way. Well, I would say so. A birthday is a good time for happy thoughts. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take some basic black paper, and we've got this cut at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and then I've scored it at 4 1/4. So this is your basic card size, and we just fold that in half on the score line, give that a little press with the bone folder, and we're ready to get started assembling this card. Now, one thing I like to do, sometimes I just leave it like this and put it in my inside panel, and that's great. But sometimes it's kind of fun to add a little bit of designer series paper to the inside panel of your card so that it sort of carries the theme from the outside of the card to the inside of the card. So these little strips are 3/4 inches by 4 inches. And probably the quickest way to do this is just to use some multi-purpose liquid glue. So we'll just put a little bit on each of these strips. The nice thing about the multi-purpose liquid glue is that it's wiggleable. It's movable. You can move it for just a few seconds. So we're going to put this right here at the bottom and wiggle it into place. There we go. Then for the top, I'm not going to use multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm actually going to use our Stampin' Seal. The reason I've switched to Stampin' Seal is because sometimes on basic white or very vanilla, you will get a glue line that shows up after the fact. I could embarrass some people and show them cards that I've gotten in swaps where the glue lines have really shown through after several months. Doesn't happen immediately, but I'm not going to do that. Just rest assured, it does happen. If you want, you could do a little experiment in your own stamping room to see that happen. So that's why I always use Stampin' Seal whenever it comes to attaching very vanilla or basic white. All right, let's move on to the next thing. This is such an easy card to make. You're probably just like, wow, this is a quick video today, and it will be. So we have cut the beautiful Flower and Field Designer Series paper. We've cut one of the panels to 4 by 5 1/4. Now, if you're very thrifty, which I am not because I'm a demonstrator, so I get a lot of good discounts from Stampin' Up. If you're very thrifty, you could go ahead and make these smaller strips and attach those maybe to this panel. I'm not sure how you would do that just to make sure all your layers are right, but you could be thriftier at this than I am being. However, as I mentioned, I am not thrifty. So we have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel of the stripe paper, and this is our middle panel here. So this is 3 by 5 1/4, and as you can see, I just kind of randomly cut some of that beautiful floral paper, and we're going to put this down on these stripes so that we have the stripes on either side of this center panel. So this is a really great way to show off how beautiful this paper is. So we're going to center that in so that we have about the same amount on each side. And that looks pretty good. All right, then just press that into place. Then we're going to do the same thing over here. And we're ready to put that one into place too. Now, you guys, for those of you that are my customers, I really encourage you to get the starter kit during celebration. It really is kind of a no-brainer. It's really the very best deal in the catalog. You don't have to sell Stampin' Up! That is just not true. You can just use it as your discount card. So you always get your supplies at a discount. So do consider that, getting the starter kit, and then you'd be part of my amazing, amazing Stampin' Up! Team called Creative Crafters Stamping to Share. And I tell you what, those gals are so fun and creative. We have a Facebook group. You would not believe how many cards they put up for our group's inspiration. It is amazing. All right, what am I doing now? Now I'm just gluing these panels right onto the front of our basic black card. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing here on the second one. And there we have it glued into place. So incredibly pretty. All right, the next thing that we're going to need is we're going to need to put these panels on. Now it depends what you want to do here, but like if I put this one down here, look how that throws these flowers up here into this most beautiful accented way. And then this one, I could put it right here and it would still look quite beautiful. But if I really kind of want to accent this down here, I could actually add this paper, this happy birthday up here a little bit more. Actually, I kind of like it about right there, so that just this daisy up here is just peeking out over the top of the sentiment. Isn't that pretty? So based on where your flower patterns are on your center panel is kind of where you want to put your beautiful label accent with your happy birthday sentiment. So those are going to be put on with dimensionals. So let me grab my dimensionals here. So I'm just going to flip this over. And we're just going to add 3 dimensionals here right across the top. And we're going to do the same thing over here. All right, now it's time to put these on. So again, just kind of look and, move it around before you get your dimensionals on so you know exactly where you want to put it. And then just center it in. Like, I really love the way this looks. So there's one. And then for the other one, I kind of like the way it looks down here more. So we'll center this in so it's down towards the bottom. Oh my gosh, how beautiful. All right, now what we're going to do is add the finishing touch. So we're going to grab our matte black pearls, and we are going to grab, I actually have it at my desk today. So I don't know how many Facebook Lives I did without this tool, and it was driving me crazy. So I have the Take Your Pick tool here, which is just essential for taking your pearls and things off, because look at that. Just takes it right off, and then you can put it right where you want it. So we're using, there's 2 sizes of the matte black pearls. So we're using 2 of the smaller pearls, and look how pretty that is, just to accent that happy birthday right there. So again, we're going to do the same thing with this one. Just use it as an accent. Whoops. And then sometimes that happens where it gets stuck in kind of a weird way. So if that happens, grab your pointy part, pick it up from the back, and then put it where you want it. There we go. So we have our 2 beautiful cards complete. Oh my gosh, so pretty. So let me put some of the other ones in here so you can just see them all spread out and how gorgeous they are. Oh my goodness, this just makes my heart so happy to see these cards. Again, let me remind you that you can get the free PDF of these cards probably, I don't know, sometime early next week. And again, that all happens at my blog, which is Stamping to Share. If you're not already part of my customer newsletter, be sure you sign up for that. You can find the link for that also at my blog, or I will also go back in and edit this post so that you can find it in the post. So, bye everybody. It was so fun to be here. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I know I have an exciting meeting planned tonight with my Creative Crafters. We've got some new downline members to welcome. And I hope that next month in March, I'm welcoming you to our Creative Crafters team. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.